It's Psychic Cynthia here, and talking with you a bit about psychic herbalism, healing herbalism, the power of the green world, of the gifts of Mother Nature. Why would we grow our own herbs? It's a question I want you to ponder today. Or grow our own anything. Why would we grow our own tomato, our own flowers, but especially why would we grow our own herbs when you can buy them, many of them so inexpensively? Why would we go to the trouble of all that work? Well, in a nutshell, there's a difference between an herb that you buy at a store and one that you have grown and tended to and entered into a reciprocal healing relationship with. That stuff you buy is never going to have the same power for you energetically and spiritually. I mean, think about it. If you tend to a plant and you grow it, even if you buy it from a nursery when it's small, or you get it from a friend when it's small, you get a cutting, and especially if you grow it from seed, if you tend to that living plant, let's take basil, for example, because I'm going to do a video about basil later. And if you tend to your basil plant and then you harvest it, and you harvest it with love, and then you use that in your soups, in your teas, or to make tinctures, or maybe some kind of ointment, or however or to make pesto, right? The energy in that is going to be higher because you've entered into an agreement with that plant. You know that plant. You are part of that plant's family then. And it's also true that even if you're not currently growing that herb, let's say basil, if you've ever grown it before, if you've ever entered into that reciprocal relationship where you have become kin to that plant on a spiritual level, understand, even later when you buy it again, let's say you buy it, you run out, but you'll still have a different relationship to it. It will know you and you will know it. Plants are alive, okay? Do we forget that? I mean, they are living, growing creatures, and they do have a consciousness and an awareness. It is different than ours. I wouldn't say it's necessarily less than ours. I would just say it is different. And it is very adjacent to our own human consciousness. And I don't think that we evolved to just be users of plants. You know, I think this is why sometimes healing herbs don't work for people. I mean, there could be a lot of reasons, okay? But one reason might be it's just not the same if you order a, bag of herbs off Amazon, or you go to the health food store and it's been grown, 1,000 miles away or sometimes in another country, and you have no connection to that country. You've never been there. You have no ancestral connection. You don't even know anybody from there, maybe. Sometimes, not always. It's not always the case. But sometimes it definitely is the case. Look at the origin of your plants. And it's not that it's bad from the other country, okay? But I guess what I'm saying is take the time to get to know the plants that you're eating, and especially that you're using for, your herbal healing or magic, or even culinary uses. Take the time to bond with it, to become one in its plant family, or at least to enter into it, to step your toe into that family, to get to know it. And you will unlock more of the healing vibes if you do that. And yes, if you can grow your own, you can do that. If you have a yard, of course, with decent soil, or soil that can be fortified at least if you need to. Yes, you can grow your herbs, or you can grow them in pots. Many herbs can grow in pots, not all, but many. And of course, there is wild gathering. I like wild gathering, but I prefer to grow my own because, again, I prefer to enter into that relationship, that partnership. When I approach wild plants, I mean, it's best if you're going to wild harvest, it's best if you can wild harvest from a place that you are familiar with and a place that is familiar with you. We humans, we assume that we have the right to enter into any natural territory. We assume this. We assume that We just have the right to pick whatever we want from wherever. And, you know, there are many stories, if you go back to ancient Europe, and I'm sure other parts of the world too, about, say, the fairy rose, about a human picking a rose or something else that they shouldn't have. They weren't supposed to. So maybe that's another video for another time, but this relationship, you know, having a relationship, you know why it's important too? So there can be consent. You know, a lot of times when we talk about harvesting, you know, from nature, you know, from these beautiful plants, all this green, we talk about taking from the plant, and you'll hear, you know, don't take more than 33%, or I don't know, everybody has a different rule. Somebody will say, you know, 2/3. But I want you to know, I do not take from my plants. I receive. They give willingly to me. The plant tells me when it's ready to harvest. It tells me when it wants to give up its fruits. It tells me when it wants me to receive its medicine. And that's just so very different. And no wonder these healing herbs work very well for me. You know, no wonder I don't have to, you know, go off and seek a lot of, you know, allopathic medicine help because I'm in this relationship, this heart connection with the plants. And you can be too. You don't have to have a giant garden. Maybe there's one plant ally. It could even be a food ally for that matter. You know, vegetables and fruits are plants too. I've had a pretty powerful summer with my peach tree the last 2 years and getting to know it. Peach is such a beautiful mothering, maternal energy. So it helps to replenish one's ability to care again, you know, and to keep caring for others and ourselves as well. I digress a little bit here, but yes, enter into the heart relationship. Find 1 or 2 plants that you know are beneficial enough for your spirit, for your health, because health just isn't physical. It's not only something that can be measured biochemically by the amounts of vitamins or by our genes. There is so much more to it than that. There is a whole body, holistic, whole bodies, you know, your aura, your various layers to your energy body, your chakras, your meridians, the nadis, all of it, all of it. If you don't know what all that stuff is, don't worry about it. You understand intuitively, I think, when I say that there's more to health than just the body. You understand that, you know, there is heart health, there is mind health, there is just feeling right in the world, feeling, you know, strong enough and vital enough to get through your day with enthusiasm, with energy, all that good stuff, with caring, with something to look forward to the future. That's all part of health too. And working with the herbs, or as I like to say, collaborating with the herbs, entering into partnership with the herbs, with the other plants as well. This is one doorway, one pathway to maintaining and restoring our perfect health. So until next time, I'm wishing you all the green love and green blessings.